Okay, I'm going to discuss now what's required for the ePortfolio and take you through an example that I've created. On the SPB, it actually tells you what is required for the ePortfolio. The basics are that you have to provide a home page showing your name, candidate number, centre number and centre name. The title of the SPB, DA202 in the news, the browser and resolution that should be used to view the ePortfolio, and links to the context pages. Those contact pages should have commentaries to introduce and link to the required evidence, and you must have appropriate multimedia assets on the pages. What does that mean? Well, basically, everything that you have produced within your work, so your opening sequence, your welcome video, headline story, continuity sequence, weather forecast, closing sequence, all the designs, the feedback that you received, and the assets table, plus your final written review have to be presented in an electronic format. So let's have a look at an example of this. If I go to my ePortfolio folder, you'll see that I've already created some of the images I want to use on my ePortfolio, along with all the pages, and I have also got a few example documents that, although are not completed to the standard that yours are there to demonstrate how they link into the ePortfolio. My home page is highlighted, but I also have a nice enter here page to let the examiner know how to go into the ePortfolio. If I click onto it, it brings up my first splash screen page, which gives me my candidate name, my candidate number, my centre number, obviously I need to change that, and my minimum resolution for viewing this ePortfolio, 1024 by 768. What I have got missing is the in the news DA202, which I would need to add. If I click on this link here, it takes me into my main homepage, and straight away I've got a link to my whole broadcast and a link to my individual video sections, which is the preview of my project. This is making it very clear to the examiner the way I want to go. I'm going to click on the whole broadcast button, allow my block content, and I have an MP4 video sitting here ready to play, which in your case would be your entire news program. I've just created a small video clip to place in its place. Your written content explaining the project would go here. So I'd expect at least a paragraph of information there about what you decided to do, why you went about doing it, how you created the video, and just generally explaining what the examiner is looking at on this screen. I also have here my designs. I've got my opening sequence design, my headline designs, and my weather forecast designs. If I link on to this one, it opens up a PDF document, and although these aren't actual designs, this is where you would have your designs here. If I go back, it takes me back to the page, and the same there, I have my feedback, and this is where you would have your feedback documents linked. I can carry on going back. I'm going to go back to the home page and look at the other broadcast version, which is the preview version. I click on here, and I've directly linked to the In the News SPB experts. I've got a link directly to the welcome video, a link directly to the headline story, and a link directly to the weather forecast. If I click on welcome video, again, it will display the video that I've put in place there, and I've got a fast forward button here, and that one will take me to my headline story. Click it again, takes me to my weather forecast. I can click this button, go back, and I can navigate quite nicely around each of these pages. And again, I would expect to find some written commentary down here explaining the content of what is on this page. The more detail you put in here, the better it will be. These buttons are simply images I've created in Fireworks and just turned into links. If I click that one more time, it leads me back round to the beginning of the preview page. I've got my assets page. I've got a link to the assets page, and as I've said here, an image or a screenshot could be placed here to demonstrate it is the assets page. Again, some information about what the assets page is about and what the assets table is about. Click on that, and this would be my PDF version of my assets table. I've got a sitemap, which basically is a link directly to every piece of work that I've got on my ePortfolio, and finally I would have my written evaluation here on my actual project. This written evaluation should be about your final broadcast version and your preview versions, why you've set them up the way you have on your ePortfolio, and the feedback you receive from your peers about your work and your ePortfolio, and what intelligent improvements you would make. So for me, obviously, I'd need to go and correct my splash screen from earlier on and check the spellings, and then I have all the key pieces of information on there. So, your ePortfolio has to be a showcase of your work. Things to remember then. Check your links first and foremost. It needs to be a relative link to be good. Absolute links are bad. An absolute is likely to begin with anything like the U drive NT6, and if you're not sure, ask. Your work has to be transported electronically from device to device for assessment, and it's got to work on all of them. So it's no good just working on your user area, it needs to work on the postbox and then on a memory stick after that point. Your video should be an MP4 format. Okay, it is the best format for your ePortfolio. They will load quickly, and there should be no issue with embedding them directly onto the screen like I have done. Media, spice it up. Your ePortfolio should be unique to your work. Add some animation onto the homepage. Add audio commentary to make it better, so the assessor doesn't just have to read everything you've written. You could record it. You could record your video you review, or audio record it to make it more interesting. The more interesting it looks, the flashier it is, the higher the mark it can obtain. Appearance, it's got a link to your news program. Your ePortfolio should make us believe it's an extension of what your work has already been done. My advice, maybe turn it into the actual website of the news program. Your PDF files must be present. No Word files must be linked. Even if you do the greatest assets table in the world and it's 100% detail, 100% correct, if it is in a Word file, it cannot be marked. And finally, there are two versions of your program that you need to create: the full broadcast and the preview version. And the preview version is the welcome, headline and weather stories. The full broadcast is those plus your opening, continuity and closing sequences, just like I demonstrated a moment ago on my ePortfolio, where I had direct links to my whole broadcast and my preview versions.